Okay, so good afternoon, all of you. Today we are going to see the effect of different process parameters on the material removal rate. Okay, because yesterday we were discussing about the parametric analysis, or we can call these different process parameters. Okay, that we have seen yesterday. So how that process parameters affect the performance of your apparel jet machining process, that we are going to see today. Okay. Now yesterday this parametric analysis we have shown, discussed. Okay. And then the first part we have covered, that is the effect of nozzle tip distance on the cavity diameter, that we have seen. Then abrasive flow rate, how the abrasive flow rate affect the material remove rate. Okay, that also we have seen. Now today we'll continue with the another important parameter, that is nozzle tip distance. Okay, we have already seen two slides. Okay, with reference to effect of nozzle tip distance on the cavity shape and size. Okay, so that was the first parameter. Now here we can see the effect of this nozzle tip distance. Okay, effect of the nozzle tip distance on the volumetric material removal rate, that means the EMRR. Okay, now it is also having more or less the same trend or the same nature as in the previous slide. Okay, you can see the previous trend of the graph was like this. Okay, so similar trend is also here. Okay, so it is that whatever the curvature or the nature of the graph is there, it is called a trend. Okay, which we have seen in the previous slides. Yes, sir. So same trend or same nature is seen in this slide also. Okay, that means the effect of this nozzle tip distance on the material removal rate. And here the material removal rate you can see is increasing, and then you can have the maximum over there. Okay, at the top. Okay, so when if you will increase this nozzle tip distance, then this material removal rate also increasing. Okay, up to certain limit. That means you will have the maxima. Okay, as I have shown, and after that reaching that maxima, it start decreasing. It start decreasing. Okay, so for example, at 0.75 to 1 mm as a nozzle tip distance, maximum material removal rate is actual. Now, if nozzle tip distance is low, you will get higher accuracy. That means the gap between your bottom of nozzle and the top surface of the workpiece is small. Okay, that is enter is low, and then you get more or less reproduction of the shape of your nozzle cross section on your workpiece surface. Okay, so you get due to that you will get the low curve width. Okay, that means your curve width will be reduced, and you will get the low taper angle also at the top surface. Okay, so uh, at as I have mentioned here, at higher mixing ratio, your material removal, that mixing ratio, that formula we are going to see in the next slide. So at higher mixing ratio, your material removal also higher. Okay, so please note down this also. Okay, and when uh, you can see here, so when your nozzle tip distance is very high, that time your material removal rate start decreasing. You can see here. Okay, when nozzle tip distance is very high, that time your material removal rate start decreasing, and at a very high nozzle tip distance, your velocity of your that average jet. Okay, as I have already mentioned, that the velocity of the average particle keeps on decreasing because of the losses in the air. Okay, so that is why material removal start decreasing beyond a certain or beyond a optimal value. Okay, okay. So this is about the effect of this nozzle tip distance on the material removal. Now we have the another parameters, that is a nozzle pressure. Okay, so nozzle pressure is another parameter which affect to some extent to your volumetric material removal rate. Okay, so now an important point to note over here is that your that critical pressure. Okay, please. listen carefully. So here important point that we need to take the note of that is called critical pressure. Okay, and that means that is that is a minimum pressure, okay, which is needed for your needed for the start of removal of the metal. It is called the critical pressure. Okay, critical pressure means what? This is the minimum pressure which is needed for the start of removal of the metal. Okay, because see, unless and until average particle has certain that certain minimum kinetic, it cannot penetrate inside your workpiece surface. That means it cannot remove the metal from your workpiece. So only above that particular limit or above that particular kinetic energy, it will start penetrating inside your workpiece surface, and then only it will remove the metal. So that we should know the our minimum pressure or that critical pressure. So in all workpiece materials, you need a certain uh, critical pressure, and that critical pressure will be different for different workpiece surface. Please remember this point also. Okay, you need a certain critical pressure, and that certain critical pressure will be different for different workpiece metal. Okay, it will to some extent it depends on the size of the abrasive particle also. Okay, so please remember this point also. Okay, then here also the point need to take we need to take the note of the maximum, sorry, that mixing ratio, that is another parameter. Okay, so as you can see, as your critical pressure here, which I have shown the arrow, no, red color, that is your critical pressure. Okay, that means the minimum requirement of your material removal. And after that, you can, if you increase the critical pressure, definitely your material removal rate is going to change, or it is going to increase. And here also we have the another parameter, that is mixing ratio. Now I will show you the some formula also for to calculate this maximum, sorry, mixing ratio. You can see in this slide. Okay, mixing ratio formula I have shown here. You can see as also diagram, you can see as the your mixing ratio increases, the maximum material removal is also increasing, that material removal rate also increasing. Okay, and you can see here also the material removal in this particular case start from here only. That means that above the river point. Okay, so that point is called a critical point. Okay, and in this case it is a very small nozzle pressure is there that time. Okay, so actual data are not available. Okay, beyond or before that, and that data is available beyond this limit only, so that the point will start from that point, whatever I have shown in the diagram. Okay, so but there will be uh, whenever that pressure will be there, no, okay, before that red point, but there will be the pressure, okay, which will be less than your critical pressure. Okay, so that means the less than critical pressure means there would be no material removal. Okay, so the effect is not very high of your nozzle pressure on your material, that volumetric material removal rate. Okay, and whenever that once that kinetic energy, as we know that that is irresponsible for the removal of material, and when you will get the kinetic energy, if your critical pressure will be achieved or beyond the that critical pressure, your pressure will be there. So your kinetic energy is the responsible. So this is responsible for also for that erosion action. Okay, that we have already discussed. Okay, and certain minimum velocity for the given material of your workpiece, that is also needed. Okay, okay, so here I have shown the formula of the your mixing ratio. So to calculate the mixing ratio, it is going to be the M. You can take the ratio of your flow rate of abrasive divided by the volume flow rate of your carrier gas. Okay, I repeat, volume flow rate of your abrasive to the volume flow rate of your carrier gas. And if you want to find just the mass ratio, then you can calculate by using the ratio of mass flow rate of your abrasive to the mass flow rate of abrasive and gas carrier. Okay. Now come to this slide. Okay, so here you can see for here I will take one example for machining of a glass. Okay, at 150 meter per second, using silicon carbide as an abrasive. So you need to use a 25 micron size abrasive particle. So this is the minimum velocity 150 meter per second, and that you require of your abrasive particle for machining glass. So this is a silicon carbide abrasive particles of the 25 micron. Okay, and if the velocity of abrasive particle is less than that 150, then it will not be able to remove the material from your glass. So that will decide whatever your critical pressure is there. Okay, so for machining of the glass, your pressure that velocity should be 150. Okay, that is minimum. Okay, and your abrasive particle should be silicon carbide, and abrasive particle size should be 25 micron. So this was the effect of your nozzle tip that effect of mixing ratio, okay, to your material removal. Now let us move for further diagram. Now here we'll discuss process capability of this abrasive jet machine. Okay, so the question arises is that what are the capability of abrasive jet machining process? So in case of this abrasive jet machining process, whatever we are getting the material removal rate, no, so that material removal rate is comparatively low as compared to many other advanced machining processes. Okay, then next capability that the it is somewhere that material removal rate, it is somewhere that uh, 15 cube per minute. Okay, so that does not mean exactly 15 uh, cube per minute every time. Okay, near about that. Again, that statistic is given by the one of the researcher. Okay, so it will depend upon, or it will vary with the machining parameter. So that type of the workpiece to be machined and the type of the average machining setup you have got for that machining. Okay, but the advantage is that you can machine integrate details, or you can produce integrate details on the component or the workpiece. Okay, so you can have the CNC abrasive machining process where your momentum of workpiece and the jet you can numerically control with the help of the CNC feature of that machine. Okay, so again the next capability is that the narrow slot can be cut. Okay, narrow slot can be cut. Okay, again the size of the slot can be 0.12 for 25 mm can be made using this process. Okay, and here a low tolerance can be achieved, that is plus minus 0.12 mm. Okay, so this taper can be minimized by properly setting the angle of your node cell with respect to your workpiece surface. Okay, so again whatever the thin sections are so that can be machined using this process. Again the brittle metals. Okay, so this process is very good for the brittle metals also. Again the what are the inaccessible areas are there no in your any component or any part, so that inaccessible area also can be machined using this process. Okay, so the inaccessible areas are those areas which cannot be machined by conventional methods, or the tool cannot be approached up to there that point. So if you if the jet can go inside the particular location, then it can be drilled the hole also in that integrate sides component. Okay, again it can machine the cavity over there through the cavity, especially where you want. Okay, almost again the next capability is that almost no surface damage, because there is not much amount of heat generation is there using this process. Again the workpiece is always in contact with the air, so due to that there is a no heat generation. So the whatever the rise in temperature is there no in using this process, so that is very low as compared to there is as compared to other process, or we can call it there is a no thermal damage to your workpiece surface. Okay, and no, not large force are acting on that portion. So due to that, there is no mechanical deformation of the your workpiece. Okay, so these are the just uh, process capabilities. Okay, so I will give 1 minute to write down this because you should know the capability of each and every process. And as we are studying this first, so we should know. So please write down this. Please write down this. So this process capability is what? Which process is able to do its better performance at what condition? Okay. So what is their limitation on all the things? Okay. So that point will be covered through this point. Okay. Process capability. So firstly, only I have cleared that the whatever the metal removal rate is there. So is using this average jet machining, so it is very low as compared to other advanced machining processes. Okay, but here the plus point is that you can machine uh, integrate details. Okay, which you want on your workpiece. Again, you can produce a narrow slot. Okay, having the that slot with the 0.12 to 0.25 mm. Okay, that can be made. And low tolerance can be often within the process. And thin sections, brittle materials, inexperienced, that can be easily machined using this process. And there is a no heat affected zone or no thermal damage to the workpiece. Okay, using this. So this point to be noted. Now let us come to the applications. So here I have mentioned some applications. So it is very much the first application is that it is very much applicable in the manufacture of electronic devices, including device made of the fragile components. Okay, so it should be material or not component here actually in the slide. Okay, actually I have corrected last time. Okay, so first application that it is applicable in the manufacturing of electronic devices. Okay, including the devices which are made up of the fragile metals. Then the second application that it is very good. This process is very good in the deburring of now deburring. Last time I have explained that what is the deburring. So deburring of the plastic, again nylon, Teflon, and other similar parts which may be made up of very hard material or even the soft material. So for that purpose also we can use this. I repeat, the deburring of plastic, nylon, Teflon, or similar type of parts which are made up of the very hard material or the soft material. So for that purpose, again, we can use the process. Again, deflashing of the small casting. Okay, so the what are the excess part or the excess material which is not useful after you have done the casting, no? So that can be deflashed or cut with the help of the this abrasive jet machining process. It is called deflash. Okay, then this process can be used for the drilling of the glass wafers. Okay, so that drilling of the glass wafers can be done using this process. Again, for the cutting, marking, engraving, cutting thin sections. So for that purpose also we can use this other jet machining. So cutting, markings, engraving, cutting thin sections. So these are the other applications. So again, uh, the so here whatever I have shown here, so these are the widely used applications of the our average jet machining process. Okay, Now again the here I have shown the frosting of the glasses. Okay, so that is also done using the this process. Not frosting of glasses is done. So that why to go for the frosting? So so that your glasses become will become opaque. So normally what are the glasses are there no, so that are transparent. But if you do a frosting with this process no, so after the frosting they become opaque. Okay, or if you want to write anything, any letter, any again any name on the glass, then this average jet masking process is commonly used for writing purposes. Okay, so very fine letters can be written on the glass with the help of this average jet masking. Okay, so these are the very important and the widely used applications of this average jet masking. Okay, understood? Say yes or no. Understood or not? Please reply in the chat box whether you are getting or not. Okay, so now we'll move for next, that is applications of the different types of abrasive and the nozzle material. Okay, now the basic question may arise that what are the types of the abrasive? Okay, that we have seen, but uh, when we are going for any selection of the abrasive, okay, what should be its grain size? Okay, and for what application or what machining operation, which abrasive we have to use? So the answer of that question is here. You can see here I have mentioned that you can see here the applications of various types of the abrasives and the nozzle materials. So here I have shown the two tables. So in the first table you will get the types of the abrasive. Okay, so first here I have written that aluminum. Okay, it is called aluminum oxide of Al2O3. Okay, so that is uh, used normally. So again in that the grain size normally used is 10, 20 mm, sorry 20 micron size. Okay, and that size of the abrasive, that is aluminum oxide, it is good for the cutting and the growing purpose. Okay, the machining operation also have. Then the silicon carbide SiC having the 25 40 micron grain size. So that is abrasive type we can use for the cutting and growing purpose. Again sodium bicarbonate. So that sodium bicarbonate it is good for the light finishing, okay, which is below 20, 50 degrees Celsius temperature. Again the uh, dolomite dolomite again the you can use for the etching and the polishing purposes. Okay, and again the next tab is that glass beads I have shown. So glass beads are so used for light polishing and the fine deburring purpose. It's a grain size you can take 0.63 to 1.27 micron. Okay. This is about the abrasives. Okay, for which machine operation, what type of abrasive we should select, and again what are the abrasive we have selected. So for that, which grain size we should select. So that is important. Then in the second table, I have shown that the material, nozzle material. Okay, you can see there are two commonly known materials are there for making the nozzle, and that are one is the tungsten carbide WC, and the second the sapphire. Okay, so if they are round, if your nozzle is round, then their size, that means the diameter is how does your nozzle, that you can keep point 2 to 1. Okay, that point 2 to 1 mm, and in case of again if it is made up of the tungsten carbon, then point 2 to 1 mm, and if it is made up of the your sapphire metal, then you can use point 0.2 to zero point 0.8. Okay, and then in they can be yeah, the nozzle it may be rectangular also. So that time your size it may vary from 0.7 to 5 mm, and again point 15 to point 25 mm as the cross section. Okay, one can be that point 0.7 to point 50, that point 0.5. That means one maybe your length and one maybe another maybe the your width of your nozzle cross section. Okay, again the with what will the your nozzle life? Okay, it is mentioned normally. It is in hours. Okay, so this what of the I am showing statistic. It is from the literature survey, and that literature survey is done or it is carried out in the that advanced machining book. Okay, so from that this statistic has been taken. So nozzle life in case of tungsten carbide, I have shown that it is quite low. Okay, as you can see in the slide, it is 12 to 30 hours only. Okay, if you are nozzle. It is made up of the tungsten carbide, then your nozzle life will be the 12 to 30 hours. Okay, and in case of the sapphire metal, it is 300 hours. But actual nozzle life will be depend upon the how how lightly you are performing the abrasive jet machining process. Okay, so that will also decide your actual life of the your nozzle. Okay, so here we have covered all the points regarding the abrasive jet machining. Okay, again, whatever I have given the explanation. It, this is totally uh, from this abrasive, sorry, from this advanced machining book. Okay, so this book is you can also refer. So I will just take the brief review that what we have learned. So first we have gone for the introduction to the abrasive process. Then it's a working principle. We have seen that it's a setup. Also we have explained what are the elements of the abrasive that we have seen. Then we have gone for the second part, that is parametric analysis. That means fishbone diagram. Then we have seen the effect of the different process parameters on your material removal rate. Okay, and then we have gone for the process capabilities of our average jet machining. We have seen the its application also. Okay, and the various types of the abrasive and the nozzle material that we have seen. Now, uh, if you have no, missed any lecture about the whatever I have covered up till now in this our subject. Okay, so and if you want to watch or if you have to just learn the things what I have covered in short time again, if you have to learn in all details in short time, then you can just search on the YouTube. Okay, hash Digambar Kashi. Okay, so on YouTube you will get the Let's Learn and Grow Together one channel. So on that channel, all the lectures of this our subject you will get. Okay, so whenever I'm getting time, that time I'm just putting the links of that my lecture on our WhatsApp group. Okay, you can also visit the link. Okay, so short lectures I have prepared but covered all the points. Okay, that means the whatever the for example for abrasive machining, if I require 2 hours to cover in classroom, then within maybe the 20 plus 20 within two parts I have covered on YouTube. Okay, the same things I have explained but within less time. Okay, so that you can see. Huh. Understood or not? Say yes or no. All of you say yes or no. 27 students are there. So 27 times I must get the yes or no like this answer. If yes, then we can go for next one. If no, I can't repeat what you want. Just I will take the review. Pawan Parmar, are you here? Suraj Gaikwad, Pratikesh Kulkarni, Kumbar, Purnima Nikte, Muskan, Mansi Mumkar, Shivam Kakade, Warad Lad, Shubda Metre, are you here? Okay, so here we have discussed about the abrasive jet machine. That now that means Now we have the all knowledge of this average machine. Okay, except the how to calculate material remote rate using mathematical modeling. Now that point I have not covered because it is not in our syllabus. If you want to go uh, further in detail, you can go like more formulation. Now here just review purpose, I have mentioned some quiz questions. Okay, so your final exam of the this semester maybe is in online mode, in MCQ based, maybe not sure, but maybe. So here I have shown the some MCQ. Let us take the review of that also. Here, first question I have written that in abrasive masting, which of the following material are used as abrasive grain? Just we have covered this point, abrasive grains. Okay, so the options I have given that is Al2O3, that is alumina or aluminum oxide, then SiC, okay, silicon carbide, then glass beads, and all the above. Okay, which answer is correct? In the chat box, say A, B, C, D. Which one? In chat box, you can write your answer. Out of four, A, B, C, D, which will be the correct answer? The question is in abrasive machining, which of the following material are used as abrasive grain? Just we have said, बघून तो सांगा. Okay, just say on the slide and tell me the which will be the correct answer. A, B, C, D. Okay, A or B or C or Sachin is saying A. Okay. Sachin, please look at the second option also. A is Al2O3. Second option is SiC, and third is the glass bits, and fourth is the all of the above. So, what will the answer? D is the correct answer because all of the above answer is mentioned that abrasive type. That is correct. Okay. Let us move for the next question. That in abrasive machining, workpiece material of the removed by which of the following means? That means what is the action? That action word I was telling. No action. Okay. So how the material will be removed using this abrasive machining process? Okay. What is that action? Vaporization, A option. B is the electroplating. C is the mechanical abrasion. And the third, and fourth is the corrosion. In average jet machining, workpiece material removed by which of the following is? C. C is the correct. Then, which type of motors can be machined using this abrasive jet machine? Which type of materials can be machined using abrasive machine? Glass friction machine, the ceramic hard material also. Okay. So all of the above is correct answer. Okay. You can see. Okay. The next question. Just see and tell me the answer in chat box. Just Okay, so now see the next. Oh, sorry, I was discussing about the third. So third MCQ answer. Third D is correct. Then let us see the fourth option. Okay. Now let me tell the whatever the quiz or whatever MCQ I am taking here. No? So that I have taken from the one of the NPTEL course related to this advanced machining. So just for the brushing of this abrasive jet machining, I'm taking. So in machining system of the abrasive machining, which is the medium of carrying the abrasive grain for machining. I repeat, in a machining system of abrasive jet machining, which is the medium of carrying the abrasive grains for this machining. So option A, gases, liquid, or any fluid. Okay, which option is correct? Okay, I was telling about the air or the inert gas. So which answer will be correct? Tell me. Liquid. Okay, Purnima saying liquid. Okay, actually, right now just I mentioned that air or inert gas. So it comes under the A category. D, how much can D will be there? None of the mentioned. Okay. Repeatedly, I am saying the to carry the abrasive particles from mixing chamber to nozzle, we require some compressed air or any other inert gas. Inert gas. So gases, that will be our correct answer. Okay. Now let us move for the next. In machining system of abrasive machining, what is or are the gas used for carrying the abrasive? Okay, same question is there. Now tell me, in machining system of the AGM, what are the gas used or what is the gas used for carrying the abrasive? Option one is CO2, then air, then nitrogen, and all of the nature. D. I think now D will be the correct answer. Okay, because here we have no, we have know about that. And the next question: what is the pressure of the gas that is to be supplied for carrying the abrasive? Okay, so I was telling about the in the last lecture the statistic, which I am telling now. So that is I have taken from the that advanced machining bed. So that statistic just remember. So here 2 to 8 kg per centimeter square is the U125. What will be the your probable answer or what will be your prediction? Tell me A, B, C, D. Just see on the screen and just tell me the answer. Just I will show that diagram also. I am not taking, but okay, so the range is 2 to 8 kg per centimeter square. Okay, again, it is not a constant. It will vary with respect to your type of workpiece. Then, which of the following gas should never be used as a carrier gas? Which of the following gas should never be used as a carrier of abrasive? Nitrogen, CO2, oxygen, and air. Huh. Option oxygen. We can we should not use as oxygen. Sorry, oxygen as a carrier gas. We can use air. It should be compulsory. Then in abrasive machining, what may be the size of abrasive grain used? Here I have shown grain size. It is in micron. So up to 5. So I think option A or B. A correct. up to 40. But again, this value may change with respect to type of work, sir. Or again, with respect to which type of machining operation you need to carry out. Okay. So this is about the our average machining. Any doubt? Should we move ahead? I will go for now. Uh, Up till now, just we have seen the theoretical part. It's time to go for the that actual how the actually our average machining was. That we will see now. Here, one practical application is there. Average machining on aluminum material. Okay, you can see. See, this is the average jet machining. Now see how the component is produced using this average jet machining. Okay, just uh, in this video they are showing the nozzle part as a machined component. Okay, the workpiece surface. See, this is the final produced component or machined component. Now let us go for next one. As the sound system of this PC is not working, so we are not getting the voice. Okay, just to see and read. Now in this video, we'll get just a summary of other jet machine. See the figure also. whatever part or whatever expression are given the same expression in just a article. How material will be removed so that here. Okay, now setup diagram you will get different in different book. Okay, again on your Google also you will get different, but component will not change. Same component will be there, but just arrangement may change. Okay, all of you in the chat box just okay by this video will continue, but just time being, you can write your roll number in the chat box. I will write your attendances simultaneously. Remaining students, please write down your roll number in chat box. Those who will write your roll number, their present only I am going to put. 2012. Okay, is anybody remaining to give your attendance? Okay. So with this, we will stop here. Okay. At 3:30, we will resume once again for our next lecture. So thank you very much for joining this lecture.